Finished it up. So to make this piece, use that bead roller, that box and pan brake, English wheel, the shrinker stretcher, or tuck some edges, profiling, and my planishing hammer. So the funny thing is, they sell these panels for like 130 bucks. They're Chinese, but instead I used like $6,000 worth of equipment, $300 worth of raw material, and a whole day of my time. But I made a panel.
Our chief engineer spends most of his time in his machine shop, testing his automats over and over again.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you are a regular viewer of the channel, you'll notice over the past 6 to 8 months, I've been buying a lot of sheet metal tools. The reason for that is my 1960 F100, which is coming in next in a few weeks after this thing gets running, needs a lot of sheet metal work. And I'm not a sheet metal guy, but I want to be. So I've bought a lot of tools and I'm investing a lot of my time into like research and figuring out how all this stuff works. But today we're gonna try and put all that stuff into play and use all the tools I've accumulated and the knowledge that I've managed to scrap together and build a patch panel for the 60 F100. Let's go. Okay, so here is the offending panel right there. Now they do make a lower quarter to this fender, and if I fail here, I may do that. But I think I can make this. I think what my idea is, well, tell you what, let's get a pattern of this first. So I'm gonna get some paper together and we'll get this on a pattern. We'll see if we can't get that line squared away in the overall shape, figure out how much of a piece we need, and then we'll go from there. We'll go back in the shop and figure out how we can do so. Oh, look at this up here too, huh? Maybe I need a bigger piece. Okay, yeah, maybe this is gonna be bigger than I thought. I thought I was just gonna be able to do down here, but this is rotten too. So maybe I'll come up here and come across on it. Or at least over here, grab this body line, come down here. I don't know what the best thing to do is. Okay, so this is the main line that I want to get right here. And I think I have an idea how I can get this, but it also kind of drops in like this. But the area that I need to replicate is not so much over here. It's really just right through this area right here where it's all trashed out. So I think we've got what we need here. We can transfer this onto sheet metal now. Okay, we're gonna clean this piece up. I oil my stuff down because I keep it outside, so sometimes the rust still gets into it, but I need to mark on this with a Sharpie, so we're gonna clean it off. And also I just want to clean the handle and everything. Little bird shit, you know, standard stuff. Okay, so there, so that's gonna be top. We'll keep track of it. All right, I don't know how well you can see that, but there it is. Okay, so we need to figure out how to get this line pushed into this panel. Now what I'm thinking I can do is I can tip a flange. I can tip it. Now let me show you. When I had this idea, I knew I was going to do this. I cut another piece and I was using it to figure it out. But I tipped this flange right here in this. And if you can see that, of course the shape isn't accurate to this panel, but it kind of gave me the idea of, hey, how can I get this in there? So what I did here is I tipped this flange and I tipped it from this side. So what I need to do is I need to get this, or get the inverse of this on the other side. So like roll it backwards, does that make sense? And then what I did is I got this by planishing. Let's see, which side did I do? Yeah, I did this side. So I tipped it from this side and then back over. I planished this side and that gave me that kind of a dish there. And that's how I got that. So I need to get this flipped over onto the other side and figured out. Now, how am I gonna do that? I don't know, let me figure it out here. I can probably draw on this and then see it from the other side, I think. Probably. Oh yeah, that's her. So this is going to be top front. Let's see. We can figure this out. That is the edge of the panel. So yeah, let's trim this. And then I'm going to leave like a little bit of a gap around it so I can tuck those edges around. I'm not going to use all of this, clearly, but let's see, are we better off that way? Yeah, we're probably better off this way. Okay. That actually fits that panel pretty good. All right, I'm going to take this over to the Beverly shear real quick and cut it, and then I'll be right back. I got the rough shake, right? Now what we need to do is we're going to tip this from the other side. So we're going to roll this over like this. And now can we get this line in here? How can we do this? What's the best way? Maybe I can pop lines in it and transfer it on there. What's the best way to transfer that line onto that? Ha! That worked a lot better than I thought it was going to. Heck yeah. Okay. That was easy. So now we need to tip this. Okay, so let's think about it. When that shows up here, this needs to be here. Let's use this piece as an example. We've got, say we did it like this, flip that, it needs to come that way. So what we'll do is step one, let's get some gloves on, and then we'll figure out what kind of profile we need to set up over here. So I've got this tipping wheel. It's pretty sharp. What I did with that one, I think I used, gosh, I probably used that, and that seemed to work pretty well. We'll figure it out. Okay, I think I found a pretty decent recipe. I used this solid lower die and that die right there. I think that's a tipping die. I'm new here, so this is what I got out of it. So I think that's gonna work if I take my time and I can roll it along there. Let me show you what I'm doing. So just moderate tension on here, and then I'm lifting up on the rest of the panel as it comes out. And then, so we know we're doing the back, right? So if we flip it over, we've got that drop off here, and then we can stretch this to kind of dish that side. And I think that's going to give us the top of the that shroop-de-doo on the fender lip there. I think it's probably going to work. Let's take it live here. Let's go to our piece here and see what we can do. Here we're going to go super slow just to kind of get it marked in. Okay. That's where it was. All right. Look at that. Wow, can you see it? One pass. I don't even know if you can see that. There it is. Look. This might work. Okay. This might work. Let's go. Now that we've got like a visible angle in it there, or like run of that body line, let's take it over here and see what it looks like in comparison to what's on the truck. Yeah. Where are we at? Right in there? Yeah. This is gonna work. Okay, that's cool. Heck yeah. Let's take a quick break. My chickens are making a bunch of noise. Let's go back there and see if they're all right. We recently decided to let them free range. They seem happier because there was 10 of them in this coop and I don't think it was big enough. But bet you didn't expect chicken content today. Let's see. Okay. So the kids let them out for sure. That's good. What are you guys doing? Chickens! What are you doing? Let's see. We got any eggs today? Oh yeah, look at that. I'll leave them in there for now. Come back and get them. We got one chicken, super broody, sitting on them all day. But, what you girls doing? Huh? Come here. What you girls doing? That's my girl. That's Strawberry. She's super sweet. That rooster over there is, we just found out he was a rooster about 2 weeks ago. He's kind of a son of a bitch, but he's alright. So far he hasn't attacked. Our last rooster ended up in the pot because he jumped on my kid's face like twice. So I just snatched him up by the neck and made him supper. These are good girls. Let's get back to metal shaping. That is looking really good. I'm starting to get a little secondary bend right in there from the edge of this die. Maybe if I run it in a little further, I can avoid that. Let me adjust this lower one here. And really, yeah, do that, and then maybe I can bring that top one out a little bit. don't need a whole bunch, right? I don't think. Let's see what that does. It's probably just going to move that line outboard a little bit more, but that is, yeah, it just moved it outboard. I mean, I'm going to planish that out, so it's going to be fine. Okay, already starting to get a little, you see in the panel here, a little shroop-de-doo. So it's doing that because I'm stretching the metal here, and it's looking for a place to go. So I'm probably going to have to stretch this out here on the edge. But I'm going to keep going, see if I can't push this, because I'm going to stretch in here, and that's going to push some out. And then I'll figure this out. I'm not too worried about it. My shape's coming in, and that's really what I wanted. Whoops. 1, 2, 3, and a little bit. Okay, it needs to go quite a bit more. One thing I am noticing is this line is kind of crisp compared to what's on the truck. So I may come behind it or this. Let me put this one on and we'll see what I get. Okay, yeah, that domed it out a little bit. That's actually a lot closer to what it looks like. Looks like it's still gonna need quite a bit more, so I'm gonna keep going on it. Okay, so one of the interesting things about the shape is it's actually working out pretty well for me here, but the beginning of the shape up here is much more drastic on the truck, and it kind of fades away here. So what I'm starting to do is when I initially put the panel through, there's a lot more up leverage on the overhang side, and then as it gets towards the end, I'm kind of letting it down a little bit and not putting so much squeeze on it. It seems to be working. Again, I don't know what I'm doing here, guys. I'm just making it up as I go. He's just really starting to bow that that panel. This needs to be relieved here pretty quickly. I think I should probably take it over to the planishing hammer and see if I can't relieve this edge. Let me go do that, and then I'll come back and see if I get it flattened out a little bit. Actually, come with me. We're gonna try something. You saw my last video with this sexy beast. I'm gonna try and use it to stretch this edge back out. And it comes with a couple of flat dies, if I can find them. Wherever they, oh, here they are. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna polish those edges up real quick, and we're gonna beat on them with that. We're gonna change those, and I'm just gonna run this edge through. We'll see if that works. All right, we just got a quick polish. I put a bevel on one side. I don't know if you can see that, and then flatten the other side. We're gonna swap them out and see if this works. I don't see why it wouldn't. I think it's working very slowly. I'm gonna put the planishing hammer up here and see if I can't knock it out quite a bit faster. All right, so it took a lot of it out, and it took all like the oil canning popping out. But since there is a fold in the metal now, right here, it's gonna bring this side over too. Until I start stretching right behind it, I think it's gonna stay that way. I can start stretching it now. I'm gonna change this to like a more dome profile on the planishing hammer and start working this area. I think it's gonna bring that panel back. I'm hesitant to do that because if I do that, I might lose the ability to put more bead in this, and I think I do need more. So I'm actually gonna go roll it a little bit more, and then I'm gonna start working on that dish. And I won't make you guys suffer through that. I'm just gonna go do it. So in an attempt to start to begin to get our upper shape, I decided to wheel it. The only problem with wheeling it is it's gonna wanna take two shapes. It's gonna wanna take the shape of the lower die this way and this way. So I gotta watch that. But I think to get it started, it might not be a bad move. It's a good idea, it's working, but it's super slow. So I know I can get more aggressive with it on the planishing hammer. So we'll put a more aggressive die on the planishing hammer. And we'll get going with that. I think I'll just need some stretch in this area, or some shrink rather, in this area. Kind of pull it together, but it needs a little more shape in here. I might beat it into it. I don't know yet. Let me try and shrink this right here. So some shrinking really brought it back into flatness. I need to do it some more, but I need more shape in here. That needs more shape. So let me figure out how I'm gonna do that. Okay, so one of the things I was worried about is the shape I'm getting into it here. So I relieved some area out here, I stretched it, and then I shrunk a little bit right here where that bead kind of comes down, and it really flattened it out. And I was worried about getting it flat, but actually it's a happy little accident. Because the fender curves just about like that. I'll take it outside and show you in a minute, but we're gonna work this a little bit more with the hammer, see if we can't get a little bit more shape in it. I got a little bit of oil canning like right in here, so I'm gonna stretch out here, kind of give it somewhere to go. Stab myself in a titty. Okay, I'm stuck. I've got a pile of material right here. I've tried to shrink it. Here's what I'm thinking. I don't know if this makes sense. So I've pushed all this material out in here. So I've stretched this area and I've stretched this area, and because the stretch continued, I stretched this area and this panel's flat. So basically what I'm thinking is I took all that extra material and pushed it to the edge. That makes sense. All this material here, I'm assuming I could do the same thing if I continue to stretch this area, but I already shrunk this area thinking that's what it needed, and now I've got like a bucket of material in here. I'm afraid to keep going and to screw it up. The panel does have some curve on the door, so maybe we should go put it on the truck and see where we're at, because I have a high spot here is my only concern right here. I mean, it's not really that high, but it's actually not bad at all. You know what, let's go put it on the truck and see how it looks. out there, because it might not need anything. I don't know. Actually, this looks really good. And oh, I do have a little bit here. Man, I don't know. I mean, oh, see that? Look, I still got some of that in there. I don't like that, but dude, that's not bad. I might just leave it. Let me see if I can't get this bend in there a little bit more. I'm sure we've missed a couple steps, but I'm rolling the edge over. So I don't know how much of this I'm going to use, but I figure if I get this edge rolled over and this edge rolled over, I can kind of like figure out where I want to put it. Okay, I came across a problem when I was rolling this edge over, and it's that right there. I need to shrink that, and I didn't really have a good way to do it. The kick shrinker wasn't enough to do it. So I remember Carl Fisher made something like this, just to throw a little tuck in there. So I'm going to try and work some tucks around it and see if this thing works for me or not. It shouldn't matter which way you do this, because you have tucks on both sides, right? Oh, that's closing it up. That's nice. So I decided not to do the outside edge because it was whipping my tail, and that shrinker worked fine. It did work, but the edge on the fender is fine. It's just this one area right in there. So I figured, hey, let's just make a patch panel. Let's not rebuild the whole panel, which I kind of started to go down that road. So here's where I'm at. I broke this edge over, and in between those two lines there, I need to shrink to kind of bring that panel around that way, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna get to shrinking some of that, and then I'll go show you what it looks like on the truck. Okay, I got some shrink in it here. You see the panel has started to curve. So this is looking pretty good. Let's go see what it looks like on the truck. All right. So there's that. Kind of gonna sit right in that neighborhood. And then, okay, let's see where we're at. Okay, looks like it needs some more shrink down through, because I need to bring this up in, so we'll say it needs more shrink between these two areas. And I technically don't need any of this area down here because it's solid underneath there. So like I said, if I'm making a patch panel, which is what I want to do, I don't want to rebuild this fender. If I'm making a patch panel, that is fine. I don't need to come up with a way to roll that bead in there or whatever. So let's go back and we'll shrink this some more, and then I think it's gonna flow real nice in there. But I mean, it's getting there. Of course, right now it's sitting on top of the fender too. So once the other piece is cut out, course it's gonna fit a lot nicer. But yeah, I mean, look at that line. That's looks pretty good to me. I could pull a few shrinks in it using this guy. This thing worked pretty well. I could definitely throw a couple in it here. Man, that works so fast. See what it did there? But let's go test the shape on the truck and see if that brought it in, because that moves metal a lot. Uh-oh. That actually looks really good. Yeah, that shape is super close. We'll go capture these, push them out as much as we can, and come back out and try to fit it again. All right, guys, you can see the shape fits pretty good there. This is the point down here. If you can see my finger, can you see my finger? Yeah, that's where I'm going to cut it off. But that's it. Of course, it's sitting on top right now because, well, the old fender's still there. But yeah, it's going to work just great. All right, guys, well, we struggled through it, but we have a patch panel from nothing but 18 gauge, rolled steel. I mean, we did it. Well, we used the bead roller. I used the English reel a little bit, the shrinker stretcher. I did use my profiling tool from Japan's Tool and Die. I used it to linear stretch some edges. And then I ended up making this little guy to put some tucks along the way, and we got a part out of it after all that. So thank you guys for coming along on my first attempt to actually build an actual sheet metal part. This is it's gonna work. I can't believe it. It took me all day. The funny thing is they make these panels, they're like 130 bucks. So I could have saved myself 130 bucks, but instead I have, like, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 grand in tools, another 300 or 400 bucks in raw material, and a whole day of my time, and I have a patch panel. But I wouldn't have it any other way, guys. This is the way to do it. I'm having so much fun out here. As always, thank you guys so much for coming around and support. The last video did really well with the profiling tool. A lot of comments. If you see some area I can improve on, please let me know. Let's have a conversation down in the comments. I'm here to learn. I'm not here for any other reason. I need to learn this stuff. I don't need to, I want to. And I'm really passionate about it, having a great time doing this stuff. And man, just, I don't know if you can sense my excitement, my happiness, but we're building sheet metal parts. And it's not out of reach, guys. You can do it too. So until the next one, thanks for coming around.